The Arctic region has long been recognized as one of the most strategically significant and environmentally sensitive areas on the planet, and the recent incident involving a German icebreaker stranded in the unforgiving polar ice has highlighted not only the operational challenges of navigating these extreme latitudes but also the intricate geopolitical dynamics that define modern Arctic diplomacy, particularly involving Russia, whose capabilities and interests in the region have been expanding steadily over the past decades, making it both a pivotal actor and an indispensable partner in ensuring maritime safety and operational continuity. The German icebreaker, originally designed and deployed to assist commercial shipping and research vessels navigating through the dense ice fields of the high Arctic, became immobilized due to a combination of exceptionally thick ice layers, technical malfunctions, and rapidly changing weather conditions that have become increasingly common as climate change alters ice thickness, sea currents, and storm frequency, thus rendering conventional ice navigation and pre-planned routes far less predictable than in previous decades, compelling the crew to issue an urgent request for assistance from nearby capable vessels, a call that inevitably drew attention to Russia's unique fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers, which, unlike conventional ships, are designed to operate in extremely thick ice conditions year-round and are strategically positioned in ports along the northern Russian coast, including Murmansk and Arkhangelsk, and are thus uniquely qualified to intervene in emergencies that exceed the capacity of other nations' Arctic vessels. Russia's response to the German request was watched closely by international observers because it not only involved practical maritime operations but also carried significant diplomatic weight, considering the historical and contemporary tensions between Moscow and European capitals, and because the deployment of a Russian nuclear icebreaker, such as the Arktike-class vessels, to assist a foreign ship could be interpreted as an exercise of soft power, demonstrating Moscow's logistical and technological dominance in the region while simultaneously signaling a willingness to cooperate in cases of humanitarian need, a dual message that underscores the complexity of Arctic geopolitics, where humanitarian, scientific, and commercial imperatives intersect with national security concerns, energy exploration interests, and the broader contest for influence over sea lanes that are becoming increasingly navigable due to seasonal ice retreat. The icebreaker operation itself involves meticulous planning, from coordinating with air support for reconnaissance via helicopters to analyzing satellite imagery to determine the safest and most efficient path through the ice, while also managing the inherent risks of polar navigation, including sub-zero temperatures, unpredictable ice flows, and the potential for mechanical failure under extreme strain, all of which require a highly trained crew and the latest navigational and communication technologies. These operational considerations are compounded by the broader implications for international relations, as Russia's assistance could serve as a diplomatic bridge with Germany and other European nations, fostering cooperation in areas of scientific research, environmental monitoring, and Arctic trade, yet simultaneously raising questions about dependency on Russian capabilities for emergency interventions, which might be politically sensitive, given the ongoing debates in Europe regarding energy security, sanctions, and strategic autonomy in the face of Moscow's assertive policies elsewhere. Furthermore, the incident serves as a case study for understanding the evolving role of Arctic nations in managing not only the risks posed to individual vessels but also the environmental, economic, and strategic consequences of increased human activity in the polar region, highlighting how climate change, melting sea ice, and expanded shipping routes are transforming the Arctic from a historically inaccessible and peripheral region into a central theater for international cooperation, competition, and conflict management. The German icebreaker's predicament also draws attention to the critical importance of international maritime law, particularly the obligations under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea (UNCLOS), which stipulates the rights and responsibilities of coastal states, such as Russia, in providing assistance and ensuring safe passage, while balancing sovereignty and security concerns, and it emphasizes the need for robust communication channels, emergency protocols, and coordinated response frameworks among nations whose vessels operate in or traverse the Arctic waters, a region increasingly marked by overlapping territorial claims, resource exploration interests, and military deployments, which together create a unique context where a seemingly straightforward rescue operation can have multiple layers of diplomatic and strategic significance. Additionally, this incident has reignited discussions among policy analysts, maritime experts, and climate scientists regarding the sustainability and safety of Arctic shipping in the coming decades, particularly as melting ice opens new commercial routes like the Northern Sea route. which promises reduced transit times between Europe and Asia but also presents unprecedented logistical and environmental challenges, including the risk of accidents, oil spills, and ecological disruption in fragile polar ecosystems, further underscoring why nations with advanced icebreaking fleets, like Russia, play a disproportionately influential role in maintaining order, safety, and environmental stewardship in the region. The response to the German icebreaker's distress call involved not only the mobilization of physical assets but also a complex interplay of diplomatic signaling, media coverage, and public perception management, as governments, journalists, and analysts closely monitored Moscow's decisions, interpreting them as indicators of Russia's readiness to collaborate with foreign partners in a high-stakes environment while simultaneously reinforcing domestic narratives of technological prowess and international relevance. In parallel, scientific institutions and Arctic research centers observed the event as an opportunity to collect data on ice thickness, navigation challenges, and the performance of specialized ships under extreme conditions, generating insights that will inform future vessel design, route planning, and risk mitigation strategies, demonstrating the inextricable link between operational imperatives, geopolitical considerations, and scientific knowledge production in the Arctic context. The incident also highlights the human dimension of Arctic navigation, as crew members aboard both the stranded vessel and the assisting icebreaker confront physical and psychological stresses associated with extended exposure to harsh environments, isolation, and high-stakes decision-making, emphasizing the need for advanced training programs, emergency preparedness drills, and robust support systems for personnel operating in one of the planet's most extreme and remote regions. Moreover, the event has implications for energy security, as the Arctic is home to substantial untapped reserves of oil, gas, and minerals, and safe, reliable navigation is essential for resource exploration and extraction, making incidents like the icebreaker stranding critical tests of international cooperation, technical capability, and governance frameworks. The public and media discourse surrounding the rescue also reflects contemporary anxieties and fascination with the Arctic as a frontier of human endeavor, environmental vulnerability, and strategic competition, revealing how narratives of heroism, technological mastery, and diplomatic negotiation converge in shaping perceptions of state power, national identity, and international legitimacy, and illustrating that Arctic incidents resonate far beyond the immediate operational sphere, influencing policy debates, scientific agendas, and international relations. Finally, the German icebreaker case serves as a cautionary tale for future Arctic operations, emphasizing that the combination of extreme weather, shifting ice conditions, and complex geopolitical landscapes requires integrated approaches that combine technological innovation, international collaboration, environmental stewardship, and human resilience, underscoring that the Arctic is not merely a remote wilderness but a dynamic and contested arena where operational decisions, diplomatic strategies, and scientific understanding intersect, producing outcomes with lasting consequences for nations, industries, and ecosystems alike, and demonstrating that the ability to navigate, survive, and coordinate in the Arctic is both a practical necessity and a symbol of broader geopolitical influence, as nations with the capability and willingness to act decisively in these high-stakes environments assert their presence and shape the rules, norms, and expectations governing the world's northernmost waters. Building upon the immediate operational, diplomatic, and environmental considerations highlighted by the German icebreaker incident, it becomes evident that the Arctic is not merely a region of extreme climatic conditions but also a locus where technological sophistication, human endurance, and international strategy intersect in ways that have far-reaching consequences, as each decision made by national authorities, maritime operators, and rescue teams resonates through layers of scientific research, global trade, and geopolitical perception. The presence of a stranded vessel necessitates rapid mobilization of resources, meticulous logistical planning, and the integration of advanced navigation systems, satellite monitoring, and real-time communication networks to ensure that both the distressed crew and assisting vessels maintain safety while minimizing environmental impact, all of which underscores the indispensable role of nations with specialized capabilities, like Russia, whose nuclear icebreaker fleet embodies decades of engineering expertise, strategic foresight, and investment in polar infrastructure, allowing them to traverse previously impassable ice fields and provide critical assistance to foreign ships, thereby establishing Moscow not only as a dominant Arctic power but also as a key actor in shaping cooperative frameworks and emergency protocols. Simultaneously, This event illuminates the increasingly blurred boundary between humanitarian imperatives and political signaling, as the timely intervention of a Russian icebreaker can be interpreted as a demonstration of technological prowess, soft power projection, and diplomatic goodwill, fostering bilateral trust while reinforcing Moscow's narrative of Arctic leadership, yet also inviting scrutiny regarding dependence, strategic leverage, and the broader implications of allowing a single nation to hold de facto control over essential high-latitude maritime rescue capabilities, particularly in a region where multiple states assert overlapping territorial claims, resource rights, and navigational interests, a reality that complicates notions of sovereignty, legal jurisdiction, and operational responsibility under international law frameworks such as the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Beyond immediate operational and political ramifications, the stranded icebreaker scenario offers rich insights into environmental risk management, as Arctic waters are extraordinarily sensitive to ecological disruption, with even minor accidents, fuel leaks, or navigational errors potentially causing cascading effects on marine ecosystems, polar wildlife, and indigenous communities that rely on natural resources for sustenance and cultural continuity, emphasizing the necessity of integrating ecological awareness into every aspect of Arctic operations, from route selection and vessel design to emergency response and debris management, and highlighting the symbiotic relationship between technological capability and environmental stewardship in high-latitude maritime activity. Moreover, the incident sheds light on the evolving nature of Arctic maritime infrastructure, which encompasses not only icebreakers but also polar research stations, automated weather monitoring systems, satellite observation networks, and logistic hubs capable of supporting extended operations under extreme conditions, illustrating that modern Arctic engagement requires a confluence of scientific knowledge, strategic foresight, and practical skill, as well as careful coordination among a diverse set of actors including governmental agencies, research institutions, private shipping companies, and international regulatory bodies. The human element remains equally critical, as the physical and psychological stresses experienced by crews navigating frigid temperatures, prolonged daylight or darkness, and volatile ice formations demand specialized training, resilience, and real-time decision-making under conditions of heightened uncertainty, while ensuring that personnel safety protocols, emergency drills, and morale maintenance are rigorously implemented, reflecting the complex interplay between human performance, technological assistance, and environmental unpredictability that defines polar operations. In addition, the stranded icebreaker incident serves as a microcosm of the broader geopolitical recalibration occurring in the Arctic, where retreating ice sheets, emerging shipping lanes, and potential access to hydrocarbon and mineral resources are intensifying competition, collaboration, and negotiation among Arctic and non-Arctic states alike, compelling policymakers, strategists, and commercial actors to reconcile national interests, global environmental concerns, and international legal obligations. Technology has always been marked by innovation, ingenuity, while also providing opportunities for joint research. Among the leading companies in military aerospace coordinated and emergency response, South Africa's Denel Dynamics and the United States cooperation and trust building, prominent examples of how nations leverage advanced engineering and technological prowess to maintain military superiority. Denel Dynamics, a division of the larger Denel Group, technological heroism, foremost geopolitical significance, precision-guided weapons, creating unmanned aerial vehicles wherein international audiences carved a niche for itself by focusing on advanced missile systems and UAV technology that serve both national defense and single high-profile event. Denel Dynamics' approach emphasizes adaptability, future cost-effectiveness, infrastructure and rugged engineering suitable for the diverse operational and navigation found across the African continent and further extending its significance. Its missile systems, such as the A-Darter short-range air-to-air missiles, have garnered attention for their high agility in planning for increasingly infrared guidance and ability to maritime in both day and night combat scenarios. Learned from the German icebreakers, the company has developed UAV platforms capable of reconnaissance, ice detection and avoidance systems, demonstrating a comprehensive understanding of modern battlefield requirements, ultimately contributing to a technological philosophy of Denel Dynamics is built on a foundation of navigational algorithms, reliability, and emergency response protocols, allowing its products to operate effectively even in austere conditions. The diplomatic interactions surrounding the rescue highlight the nuance balance one of the titans of American aerospace and facilitating cooperative engagement that spans Russia's willingness to deploy a nuclear-powered icebreaker not only underscores its operational readiness but also company's approach is defined by cutting-edge readiness to substantial investment in maritime safety and a global perspective on defense norms while subtly enhancing its strategic leverage in Arctic negotiations and international in modern warfare, thereby demonstrating how practical operations, the public diplomacy, global hawk, and long-term geopolitical interests, and a variety of missile and radar systems that underscore its capacity to project power across broader trends in Arctic governance. Unlike the dynamics of transnational safety on regional needs and precision weapon search and rescue, Northrop Grumman integrates its scientific data sharing network of American and allied defense infrastructure, risks associated with interoperability, commercial traffic, extensive range, extreme weather events, to operate and rapid environmental change. While also fostering transparency, requires an examination not and shared responsibility among stakeholders technological philosophies to operational operators and strategic narrative of the stranded icebreaker additionally highlights the intersection of technological innovation and human has demonstrated that it can achieve remarkable the most sophisticated relatively modest rely on trained personnel capable of adapting to dynamic ice conditions, interpreting satellite imaging infrared, executing emergency maneuvers, and communicating engaging targets with extreme accuracy, thereby emphasizing the this missile is designed for agility, machine capability, and advanced environmental awareness that allow it to outmaneuver larger, less responsive systems, and mission completion in Arctic theaters. Denel's missile systems emphasize lessons drawn from this episode underscore making them attractive to countries looking to upgrade operational capabilities that define contemporary Arctic engagement, associated with reinforcing the need for robust infrastructure. Denel Dynamics UAVs also reflect a pragmatic technological investment and multilateral cooperation for maximum operational simultaneously combining human ambition, payload versatility, scientific exploration, and geopolitical contestation. These perform reality-made target acquisition by the German icebreakers, temporary immobilization, bridging the gap between traditional ground facilities and high-end intelligence platforms, which together provide a comprehensive illustration of in environments where infrastructure is limited, and their designs emphasize simplicity without compromising performance. Emerging trade Northrop and heightened international by comparison, emphasizing that the Arctic and missile design with a focus on global operational reach, technological superiority, innovation, and integration environmental command and diplomatic engagement are inseparably intertwined. And highlighting that the lessons learned from this conducts long-duration surveillance missions over thousands and operational practices providing high-resolution imagery, shaping the way nations approach battlefield awareness on a scale unmatched by regional manufacturing and cooperative governance in the northernmost regions of the communication systems and operational